Atheists say that God created Satan. I was an atheist apologist and I used to say that without realizing how contradictory it sounds. God does not do evil and cannot be tempted to do evil. James 1 verse 13. God did not tempt Lucifer to become Satan. What God did was good. He created a high-ranking angel who walked on the mountain of God and was a musician. He played all kinds of musical instruments, as it is written in Ezekiel 28 verse 13. But in verse 17 we find out what actually happened. His beauty made him proud. What do we call this today? Narcissism. He liked himself so much that he wanted to be like God. We are all tested, and Lucifer did not escape God's test. Because he was perfect, the test was himself. And Christ was tested. No one escapes untested. The other angels followed Lucifer and became demons, and Lucifer became the devil, the enemy of God. The purpose of evil is to oppose good, but the purpose of good is above opposing evil. It is to love. Good can exist without evil existing, but evil cannot exist without good, because it loses its purpose. Satan is also called the adversary. Let's do a thought exercise. Suppose you're an angel who has the thought of usurping God. Considering that he created everything and is almighty, how can you do him any harm? By bringing into creation something that does not exist. But if you don't have the power to create, what do? You use the law. You turn the law into a weapon. This is a copyright war. God is the source and author of holiness, and the devil is the author of sin. If you are in search of righteousness, you pay royalties to God through your submission. But if you sin, sin brings death. That's how you pay for sin. Sin is a lethal weapon, and the devil invented it using the law. The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 56. If you have narcissistic colleagues at work, you know how they like to use any rule book against those around them. When you sin, you die, and the sin is resurrected. Romans 7 verses 7 to 13. You become a puppet. The puppeteer is the devil, and the strings are the sin. And how did the devil plan to be like God? He thought he could make God sin. So he tempted Jesus Christ, which is God, in the wilderness after he had fasted for 40 days. He even offered him the whole world just to sin. But Christ did not sin. And even though he did not sin, the devil still orchestrated the death of Christ. He entered Judas Iscariot, who was a treacherous thief. Therefore, because Jesus received death without sinning, that is why he rose, and we can be forgiven. It was the supreme proof that the devil seeks to kill you, even if you have not sinned. You will receive death from the devil just because he's evil. God will throw the devil into the eternal fire. That will be his end. Until then, each of us gets the chance to show whether we like sin or righteousness. Whom do you follow? The author of righteousness or the author of sin? Subscribe and visit Carmel on Fire. Share if you liked it. Peace.